Greetings. Hi, it's Questlove. To know Tariq and I, Black Thought and I, is to know that we are Criterion freaks. Let's get started. Once, like, the Roots tour bus became like a serious Criterion tour bus, I remember the envy that I felt when the Beastie Boys got their own Criterion collection. All their videos were brilliant short films directed by Spike Jonze and sometimes Nathaniel Hornblower. This one alone, man, I was just like, wow, like I want a Criterion collection. All right, I got to tell this story. So there's a period in which Prince and I became cool, and I've told the story of Finding Nemo, where Prince has a habit of always having a film on loop in the background. You come to this house, and there's a film on background. Yes, he loved Finding Nemo by Pixar for some strange reason. But when he started doing his Welcome to America tour, he had this beautiful, like, I'd never seen people of color like shot in this way. Like, the film looked vintage, but I couldn't quite make out what it was. And, after a week of seeing him perform, I was like, yo, what is it? And he says it's one of his all-time favorite films called Black Orpheus. And he had about 10 copies of Black Orpheus, which he would just constantly have on loop. And eventually I got this. And, of course, like, I now know why he loves this. This won the Palme d'Or in 1959, I believe. And it's probably just one of the most beautifully shot films. Black Orpheus. The Monterey Pop Festival is probably one of the most brilliant captures of concert footage. The most legendary story, of course, is the Jimi Hendrix Experience performance, where Hendrix famously does Wild Thing, and then he puts his guitar on the floor and he destroys it and he sets it on fire. And also another performance that really doesn't get talked about is Otis Redding's performance. And, this is the moment where Otis really rises to the occasion. From Southern soul singer with a niche audience of like black soul lovers. And this is where really he was able to connect to, the love generation, those that lived out in the Bay Area, that was really open to him. Probably more than Woodstock, this really captures what the possibilities of what could have been, Gimme Shelter, which is kind of the opposite of the Monterey Pop Festival. Part reality show, part Dogma 95 almost. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You just got to go with the moment and be present, be a fly on the wall. And this is probably the greatest example. A concert's thrown and a murder occurs during the Rolling Stones performance. And it's so chilling to watch the Stones watch the footage of the murder. This film represents the ebb and flow of America. Like, you have hope, and then you get nope. Okay, so another major moment for me, Do the Right Thing. When Spike Lee got the Criterion treatment, oh my God, and all the extras in it. Like, Spike's preserved the storyboards, the audition tapes, the day that everyone first meets, them building the sets, the pizzeria, them building it by hand. So you get to see soup to nuts. It's as if Spike knew that some 10 years later, some 20 years later, that they would contextualize this, and he kept everything. And so this is kind of, yes, of course, Do the Right Thing is just the fabric of all filmmaking, but this specific Criterion collection for me is what probably turned me into a pack rat. That's when I realized save every liner note, save every sneaker from a video shoot, save posters from backstage, because one day you might not expect it, but what you do might be seen as important. So if you're going to do the right thing and watch it, I would watch the Criterion version of it, especially if you want to learn about indie filmmaking. Now, speaking of Spike Lee, imagine my surprise when a film that I'm in, Bamboozled, made Criterion status. Words will never describe the entire experience of us shooting this. So Spike Lee comes to Electric Lady Studios, and the first thing he pulls out is just a bunch of these minstrel entertainment era dolls. And he explained to me the premise of Bamboozled. Now, mind you, it's 1999. And, you know, this is one of the cases in which a satire is so over the top, exaggerated. We looked at each other like, is he crazy? Like, this will never fly. Like, he thinks there's a future in which, like, non-actors are going to be on television and they'll do whatever it takes to be famous, no matter what, like, to their dignity. He thinks that's going to happen one day. And he purposely put our trailer 3 blocks away from the set. So in full blackface makeup and a jail suit, the Roots have to walk 3 blocks, and without context, everyone's like looking at us like, nah, that's not them. Like, literally, it was so over the top that no one knew it was the Roots. And now that it's 25 years later, everything in this movie has happened. So it's one of those things where, like, Spike was so ahead of time that time eventually caught up to him. But yeah, Bamboozled, Spike Lee.